What has become clear to me, as you will see in my presentation, is that one's attitude, one's behavior are essential, crucial elements of self-healing.
And now it is my honor to introduce you to Claude Poncelet, PhD. Claude is a physicist and a shamanic practitioner and teacher. He's taught shamanism in Europe, Russia, and North America for the past 30 years and is committed to adapting shamanic practices to our modern technological world. Claude has studied shamanism with Michael Harner and with a number of shamans and spiritual teachers from diverse cultures and traditions. He has spent his professional life teaching as a university professor and working in the corporate world to protect the environment. Claude is the author of The Shaman Within, a physicist's guide to the deeper dimensions of your life, the universe, and everything, published with Sounds True in 2014. Welcome, Claude.
Thank you, Michelle. Very happy to be here. And I first want to thank Sound True for organizing this very important summit. And I also want to thank everyone who is listening now to be there with me. What I will offer in terms of shamanism and self-healing is based on my own personal experience. This follows a diagnosis almost 4 years ago now of stage 4 lung cancer metastasized to the brain and to several vertebrae. Now, in exploring shamanism and self-healing, I will not focus on shamanic healings themselves, although such healings have been important part of my overall self-healing, including work with a shaman and medicine man from the Sapara tribe in the northern Amazon. In this presentation, what I want to do is to focus on my own work with spirits and what I learned about self-healing from the shamanic worldview. Now, for me, as a preface, there is only self-healing, in a sense that the body, the mind, the ego heal with the help of healers, doctors, treatments, etc. And this has been reinforced throughout my 4 years of living with cancer. Hence, shamanic healers, and for that matter, energy and other spiritual healers who understand the breadth and depth of self-healing approaches can help their patients in the awesome responsibility of self-healing. Now, I know that each journey with cancer, and for that matter, each journey with any illness, is unique and individual. And so is one way of self-healing. Self-healing is unique and individual. I can only share my own experience, and I hope it will stimulate among my listeners a deeper understanding of self-healing for each of you in your own way. Now, my learning has been continuous since the early cancer diagnosis 4 years ago, and it continues today. I am thankful to the cancer for the deep learning I have received. Now, while my learning has been deepened over time, has come over time, I will offer my thoughts in this presentation, not chronologically, but according to what for me are major aspects of the shamanic worldview, or the shamanic practice, if you wish. Now, as a physicist, I admit that I still need a structure and a framework for my knowing and teachings. Now, the three major aspects of a shamanic worldview that I will use in making my presentation are: one, that everything is sacred, everything has a spiritual dimension, everything has spirit. Two, everything is interconnected. There is no separation. And third, there are two worlds we live in, the physical world and the spiritual world. And we have full responsibility for our thoughts and actions in both worlds. Now, I've been engaged in a multifaceted approach to self-healing that I label partnering with cancer. Partnering with cancer. What has become clear to me, as you will see in my presentation, is that one's attitude, one's behavior are essential, crucial elements of self-healing. Now let me start with my first category. Everything is sacred, everything has spirit. Spirits are everywhere. Now, since the first cancer diagnosis 4 years ago, I've been communicating daily and several times a day with my spirit helpers, spirit guides, and teachers, asking for help, protection, and guidance. Now, as I have since the very start of my shamanic practice, I never ask for a specific outcome. What I ask is for the most appropriate outcome in light of the welfare of the whole, now and into the future. I know that spirits know better than I do. I also journey regularly to spirits of nature and of the cosmos, asking for guidance. And I see the sacred in everything. Since the start, I have journeyed to the spirit of cancer. The spirit of cancer. I do this daily, and the spirit of cancer has become one of my major teachers, particularly on how to approach my illness. I have learned early that my cancer is not a random happening, but that it is, in a way, an initiation. And I'm grateful for what I have learned, not only about self-healing, but also about myself, my life, and my role in this world. Now, as I became aware early in my shamanic practice, and I talk about this in my book, all man-made objects have a spirit, have a spiritual dimension, are sacred. Now, nature creates forms such as rocks, mountains, lakes, rivers that have a spiritual dimension, have a spirit. Now, everything we humans create, such as buildings, computers, cell phones, cars, medication, is made from material coming from the sacred Mother Earth. We humans are part of nature. We are not separate. We are nature. We are part of nature. Forms we create, therefore, are sacred, have a spirit. If only we are willing to acknowledge this become aware of it. Now, the Sapara shaman from the northern Amazon, with whom I work, prepares for me a sacred liquid plant medicine consisting of 5 plants. Doesn't include ayahuasca. And I take this sacred medicine 3 times a day. I contact daily, and when I take the medicine, the spirit of the plant medicine. Now, I've been on chemotherapy in the form of daily pills since the start 4 years ago. Daily, when I take my daily chemotherapy pill, I journey to the spirit of my chemo. The chemotherapy for me is a sacred medicine. That is part of my self-healing. Now, I've been on a second type of chemo for 2 years after the first type became less effective. And this spirit of the second chemo has become a major teacher for me. Now, as I take my plant medicine and my chemotherapy daily, I carry out rituals to honor the spirits and to ask for the most appropriate outcome in the light of universal welfare. And I ask that my healing be shared with all beings. Now, the spirit of my chemo, which is called Tagrisso, it's important to have a name, has been the main guide in creating this ritual, which the spirit of my chemo modifies every now and then. Now, let me give you some more examples of the kind of spirits I journey to in my self-healing. I undergo regular medical tests and procedures, and I work with the various spirits involved in these procedures. Every 2 or 3 months, I have CT scans and MRIs. And I always contact, when I go for these procedures, the spirit of the hospital, the spirit of the room where the machine is located, the spirit of the CT scan machine, the spirit of the MRI machine. When I'm contacting, by the way, the spirit of the MRI machine, I also ask if the spirit would help those patients who are claustrophobic in the MRI machine, which fortunately I am not. Now, let me give you a specific example in some detail, which I have shared before, and maybe some of you have heard. Now, after the first cancer diagnosis 4 years ago, I had a radiation treatment for my brain tumors, all 26 of them. Now, this is an advanced medical procedure called gamma knife, which uses high energy gamma radiation that is focused specifically on the tumors and hence has no effect on healthy neurons. Now, the procedure took, because of the number of tumors, nearly 5 hours, as I lay immobile for about 90 minutes at a time under the radiation dome. In preparation for the procedure, the treatment, I had done several shamanic journeys to various spirits, such as the spirit of the hospital, the spirit of the radiation dome, the spirit of gamma radiation, to honor them, bless them, thank them, and ask for the most appropriate outcome in accordance with the greater harmony of the whole. Now, when the procedure started and I was under the radiation dome, I started again journeying to the spirit of gamma radiation. While in early journeys, the spirit, I could not quite distinguish its form or how it presented itself. This time the spirit clearly showed itself as an elder woman. I asked for guidance as I underwent the procedure. The spirit reminded me, and remember I'm a physicist, that right after the Big Bang, at the birth of our universe, the very first manifestation of matter or energy was in the form of high energy electromagnetic radiation, and that is gamma rays. Now, some of these gamma rays, as described by Einstein's equation, E equal mc square, energy and matter can transform into one another. So some of these gamma rays were transformed very quickly into matter and antimatter. Now the matter, which was quarks and electrons, became the building blocks of protons, neutrons, atoms, molecules, stars, planets, our own bodies. Now, the spirit of gamma radiation told me, and I quote, "You are being healed by your cosmic ancestors," unquote. Now, we all came down from those primordial gamma rays. All our atoms in our bodies came from those gamma rays. Now, hearing this brought a fundamental change to the medical procedure I was undertaking. I was no longer being bombarded by radiation with all the scary aspects of this. My cosmic ancestors were healing me. This was a sacred treatment. The 5 hours in the dome were filled with joy, wonder, and gratitude. The 26 tumors, by the way, have all gone away and have not reappeared since. I am grateful.